Hey everyone, Jim here. Today we're going to ink this running pose girl sketch from the previous video. But first I'm going to refine the sketch a bit and then we'll get into the inking. I'll show you how I move from brush pens to dip pens, share my muscle and line weight tips, and yeah, we'll even keep the happy accidents in there. Enjoy, and here's a table of contents for you if you want to skip around the video. Let's jump right in. Okay, so I'm going to finish up this picture and then ink it. Get some lines on it. Not really sure what I want this hair to be, but I just want it big and flowing. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. That'll do. And some of these lines are pretty faint from the photocopy, so I'm going to just go over them in pencil before I ink. So that ought to do. That middle finger is pretty faint. And I think I'll change the shape of that a bit. Get more tricep going on there. And then that makes me want to add some to this side of the arm. Put a little more meat on there. Okay, that'll have to do. Alright, I'll quit tinkering with that. Okay, so I'm going to do a combination of dip pens and brush pens. Or at least that's my initial thought. We'll see what happens when I get started. Okay, I've got this set of brush pens, but I haven't never used them before, so I want to give them a try. I think what I'll do though is for the eyes I'm going to use my brush pen because I'm familiar with that and comfortable, and less chance of me messing it up. Okay, so I survived that. Okay. All right. And I think I'm going to continue with the brush pen on the head and the hair. That's a fun shape. Okay, now let's try one of these brand new zippy dippy dip pens here and see what kind of mess I can make. Okay. That feels cool. Scratchy. Scratchy, scratchy.
You can really feel the paper. Makes a nice line though. So cool. So I'm not really trying to do much lighting when I'm doing these. Part of the reason is because if I put them online for you guys to download, you can put in your own lighting. So I'm basically just doing contours. Whoa, and that's exactly what I didn't want to happen. Exactly what I didn't want to happen. And I wasn't paying attention. What is it? Yeah, amateur. Amateur! Oh man. Amateur man, amateur man. Does whatever an amateur can. Oh well, at least it's on this Bristol board, so I can just throw that away. I was at least that much prepared. Now that makes me think though that I'm going to put that away and go to plan B. And then I have my little real lime bottle here, and we'll drop some ink in here. And we'll do it this way. Okay, moving along. So now I want to try another one, a different pen, because I want to add some width to those abs. So this has a bit of a flat thingy. I forget what that's called. But it's nice. I like the way it thickens up. But it seems once it's gone, it's gone. It doesn't last long. Okay. And then I'll thicken up the bottom here. And here. And maybe just make the outline contour a bit thicker. That's better. That's more better. Okay. Have a little shadow under the suit there. I don't know what kind of suit, it's so skin tight. Almost painted on. But that's what I wanted to do with this, was get a little bit of anatomy in there. That's why I'm putting in the deltoids and some biceps and, you know, the ligaments and what is it called, the aponeurosis there, and then the brachioradialis right there. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the other pen. I really like this one here with a little bit of a flat tip on it. That's pretty cool brush, but I'm going to use even another one that's a little finer and see how that works. Sounds of the city. Small city. And I think I will attack this hand now and get that done, because then pretty much the harder parts are done. And I won't say I can relax after that, but don't need to be quite as exacting. Okay, what do I need to do here? Right there. Okay, now. Okay, continuing. Oh, we're at 7 o'clock now. So this is real nice and relaxing, actually. I like that. Doing some hatching like that. Okay, I like pulling on the pen too. I don't like pushing at all. I think that's pretty universal. To pull as opposed to push. So that means lots of turning of the page. And you can see I'm adding some volume onto the foot because it felt too small from the original sketch. And maybe I'll give a bit of a soul to these. I don't know what she's wearing. Boots. Okay, I'm gonna make them like short boots. And just put a edge around here and around here, I guess. Something like that. And then I wish I had added a little sharper bulge to the outside here of the calf. So that's what I'm attempting to do now, is just add a little bit of volume with a thicker line. And then the shin bone. And then the calf is back here. I'm not sure I'm happy with that, but I'll have to live with it. Probably shouldn't experiment when I'm learning a new tool like this, but this drawing doesn't make my career, so maybe it is the right time to experiment. All right. Wow, we're pretty much there. Just want to add some thicker lines in a few places though. So I'm going to get my little flat end here. Get that juiced up again. And I guess the light's coming from my left because I seem to be shading. Or, I mean, yeah, it's coming from the left, so it's shading to the right of the page here. Seems to be what I've done. I think that's what I naturally do unless I make a conscious decision to put the light elsewhere. Yeah, having a proper inkwell is probably a really good thing because it's hard to get enough ink on the brush otherwise, on the pen. It's not a brush. Definitely a different animal than using a brush pen, but I like it. I like it. Feels good. Now, let's see, can I get... And I don't want to kill that lash, so I'll go down here. Good lesson learned there. Don't use the flat nib near the face. But this is also why I make copies and do a lot of my work over the copies so I don't destroy the original sketch. And then when I have my skills to where I'm comfortable and confident, then I can ink right on the original, or color on the original, or whatever on the original. Okay, so let's get this back up here. Yeah, I could go to town and do a whole lot more shading. I think I'll put some more here, like that. And then I think I'm gonna get close to calling it quits. I'm gonna get away from the flat pen there, flat ended. I don't know if you can see the difference. Can you see what's the best angle to show them? Like that. Can you see the little flat nib on the end of it here? That's gonna be out of focus. Anyway, so I'm going back to the, the sharp point, and I'm gonna get in this line right here. And maybe I will try some hashes. Hatching, I meant to say. Oh, I like that. That's a nice effect. So this is just all an experiment, but I'll make this available to you guys for a download. It won't look so weird, it won't look as much as a line. It'll look a little more shadowy if and maybe, yeah, I'm gonna do that. As I enjoy my comic collection more these days, and I mean, such great artists and everything, but you tend to notice mistakes, or you notice where they're running out of time and things get less perfect. near the end of the comic and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not going to do the rest of the hair, but that would be a fun project to do. So, the original date on this was May 24, 2025. So, it's now the end of September. So, June, July, August, September. So, 4 months ago. And I just got around to inking it today. There we go.